All right. We're back. We're back in the cut. Another Vault series. For those of you that don't know me, welcome. My name is Chris. I'm an artist. I'm a music producer and a director based in LA. And this is a long form talk, basically just about what's going on in my life and in the creative sessions that I've been having. So if you're interested in maybe what that's like, a little peek behind the curtain of what a music video director, a music producer is doing in LA. Small time, but we're doing it. Stick around and let's chat. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. If you have anything you'd like me to discuss going forward, some of your trials, some of your tribulations, we're going to get into it. Drop a comment. It's been really cool interacting and just like going back and forth and having these long form talks to discuss what's going on in my life, some of the projects that I'm working on, and just an unedited long form that I've really been enjoying. So yeah, buckle up. Let's get into it. Glad you're here. So I just put out I didn't put it out, but one of the artists that I've been working with, Ravmagav, put out the music video that I shot and directed for him. It's called Take It All. I will link it in the description below as I take a sip of my water and my electrolytes. And yeah, it's pretty cool. That is the second music video I've directed, edited, color graded. Basically, I have no crew, right? So these artists that I'm working with, I have been doing all of the hats and all of the responsibilities, and I've enjoyed it. I've actually really enjoyed it. Let me just make sure my framing is all right. Throw the fucking snap back on. Anyways, yeah, it's been really fun. It's been quite interesting. I don't have a background as a cinematographer. You know, I've been a music producer and a session musician in Los Angeles for the past 8 years. But I bought this camera that I'm shooting on, the Nikon ZR, about a year ago. And since then, that has really opened up this lane of capturing footage and creating content, not only for myself, but for the circle of friends that I find myself in and artists that I am meeting along the way. So that is kind of a little background context on my foray into directing, into shooting. I am no expert. Let's just talk about that off the bat. I am not an expert. I'm doing this out of necessity because I don't have the funds to continuously, get high quality directors that have really great taste and really great editing chops to make stuff for me. So, I had enough money to buy a camera and I was like, listen, if I'm going to invest into making the kinds of content that I want to make, capturing the kind of footage that I want to make, getting the color grades that I want to get, and just be able to have access to that, I'm going to place those funds and invest it into myself. And for better or worse, we'll see where that goes because I was basically running out of money. But it's been really cool. I've learned a lot from these two artists, but I have a couple questions here and we're going to go through them just so I don't get too off track. We're focusing on Ravmagav right now because that is the music video that just came out. Again, video in description down below. So how did I even end up directing this music video? So I kind of got into that with me purchasing a camera about a year ago, but it really came about because my friend Ravi, artist named Ravmagav, one more time, is putting out original music. And he just hit me up because context, we went to high school together. We grew up, I've known this guy since we were little kids, really. We were on the same swim team together in middle school growing up, have gone to the same elementary school. I've known this guy basically my whole life, and we were great friends in high school. And so spent a lot of time together. Life happens. We go our separate ways in our 20s. But, in the last year and a half, we've reconnected because he is moved back to LA, is looking to put out some of his original music. An incredible jazz musician, and is now kind of blending some pop influences and original songwriting into that background of foundational like jazz and I'm using the wrong words probably to describe his genre, but to me that's in my head, I'm thinking of like, oh, this like jazz fusion pop avant-garde kind of thing going on. So anyways, he's a really great musician. He hit me up and he was like, hey man, like, let's just have a session together. Let's link up. Let's see what's going on. I had the camera at this point. And literally, I think, people will talk about gear acquisition syndrome and, oh, don't spend your money on gear. It doesn't pan out. Things don't happen from that. But, and while I generally agree with that sentiment, because I don't think gear is necessary for one, like making music. You can literally rip Fruity Loops or Logic or Ableton off of the internet for free and start making music. You could use GarageBand. You can use your phone. You can use BandLab. So the creativity is not bound by budgets a lot of times, and often the most creative people are using stock plugins to make bangers. Let's look at Disclosure in their breakout album, or Skrillex, famously both known for using Logic or Ableton stock plugins in making fucking bangers. So, having said that, gear, I do not believe, is a foundational constraint. However, for helping other people express their creativity, sometimes it is a constraint. And I have found that bottleneck to be lifted when I got this camera. Again, shooting on the Nikon ZR, lens Tamron 28-75 with, I think, a 67 millimeter variable ND filter. I don't know the brand. I think it's like Freewell or something like that. Anyways, so that's kind of the kit that I'm rolling with. I show up to this studio session with Ravi in downtown LA, and I say, hey, I got this camera. And so, off rip, he's like, hey, I got a couple demos. I'd like to start just like, if you have your camera, let's just shoot around. I kind of threw that out there. Like, hey, I have this camera. If you want to like experiment with, shooting and making some content, like, let's fuck around. Let's see what it does. I had the knowledge of the codecs within the camera. Again, I'm a complete novice when it comes to camera shit. Sorry, my dogs are barking. Someone's home. Anyways, I just tossed it out there and I was like, hey man, I got a camera. If you want to make some shit, like, let's run it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And if you're open to that, like, let's have a ball. So we just run and gun shot around his music studio. And when we came back, I threw it in Davinci. Again, another free program. You can pay the $300 or so. I think it's like $295 for the program, but you can start off for free and you can start color grading and editing and exporting right away for free. And I was like, bro, let's just start messing with the color wheels. Let's start adding some nodes together. Let me adjust the white balance. Let me see what we can do, right? I'm no expert colorist. I watch YouTube videos. Anyways, that's how it started. Me tossing out an idea to a friend, having not the requisite, but capable gear, and just running and gunning. So that's how it started. Eventually, he sees the footage that we've made, and he likes it. And so naturally, one thing led to another. We took a couple takes in a couple different locations in that studio that one day. I chopped up a really rough edit, but he was into it. Over the next 8 to 9 months, we had a handful of sessions where we repeated that process over and over. Had various FaceTime calls where we do screen share editing sessions, and I'd be like, hey, I replaced this shot with another one. What are your thoughts? Go back and forth, editing different versions. You know how it goes. And then we had a music video, right? I'm not saying it's great. I'm a fan of it. Hopefully other people like come across it and they're like, hey, that's pretty cool as well. But long story short, that is how I ended up directing this music video for a friend. I'm a novice. I'm learning how to do this. And yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So check it out in the description below. What did I think directing was going to be like before I actually did it? I had no preconceptions, okay? That is not my, like, directing and like being a cinematographer, a DP, an editor, like, that is not my medium at all. I'm a music producer. I make fucking TR-1000 techno beats all the time. And I was like, I bought this camera really because I had an interest in upgrading and doing some color grading for some of these performance pieces, but Unbeknownst to me, that video work is a skill that is in demand for my friends. And they're like, yo, let's color grade some performance footage of these demos that I have. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I didn't have any preconceived notions. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't even know if I'm any good. I don't think I'm that good, but I'm just trying. I'm throwing shit at the wall and seeing what happens. And I'm raising my shoulders because I honestly am just like, look, man, I don't claim to be an expert. I'm a novice and I'm trying new shit and I'm insecure about it. And I'm just like, does this resonate with anyone? I'm making what I think is cool. Hopefully it resonates with not only the artist so that we have something that I give them that they love and they're excited about that represents their work, but also maybe it connects with their audience and the demographic that they're trying to reach and connect with. So let's move on to the next question. How do you translate a song into something visual? Literally just open the fucking camera and start shooting stuff. That's what I did. I'm not saying that's the right approach. I understand people have shot lists, people have location scouts, people have themes, people have arcs. I don't know how to do any of that shit. Okay? I'm not the best spokesperson to be on a microphone talking about this. I'm just describing what I did. I opened the camera and I was in a cool setting with cool people and I was like, all right, I kind of know how exposure works. Let me cross my fingers and hope this looks cool. So again, I'm throwing paint at the wall here and just hoping it sticks and then iterating in post very closely with the artist to see like, hey, do you like what I'm doing? I'll change the color grade here. Let me change the node, the color wheel node on this offset node in Davinci. Do you like what I'm doing here? No? Maybe I'll go a little more blue. You know what I mean? So that was my approach. That is my approach. And maybe I will continue learning. I hope so. But that's basically what I got so far, people, you know? How much of the final video was planned versus figured out on the day? Like I was saying, everything was run and gun. Everything was completely improvised on the spot in the moment. And that's how the video came out. It kind of has this indie run and gun feel, home video feel, but editorial at the same time. And I think for that kind of song, which is kind of an acoustic, again, avant-garde, acoustic, lullaby, jazz thing kind of going on, it worked. It worked. What went wrong during a shoot that nobody watched the finished video would ever know? Again, because I'm such a novice, like there were lighting environments where we go into a room in this underground warehouse building and I'm like, let's try shooting here. And it's very harsh light on the artist Ravi's face. And the harsh light, because it's just like, there's no depth. I'm not capturing it at an angle. In post, I realized like, oh, this harsh lighting like doesn't look too great. And because I didn't set the ISO at the proper level and I wasn't adjusting the NDs in real time to the lighting environment I was in, I was like, oh shit, like this shot is actually kind of wrecked. I can't even see his face. And although there are moments of his silhouette that look really cool because there's backlight illuminating the silhouette, like overall, there's a lot of shots and a lot of footage that I got where I just toss like 80% of the take because it's literally unusable because I can't see him. So that was something that was difficult. And I learned in the moment, like, oh, I have to have a way better understanding of lighting because if any of this footage wants to like be usable to any degree to the artist and they're going to put it out and in post, the color grading, the editing, all of that, like I can't even use it if the lighting isn't there. So that's something I learned in real time. I also learned that like, although the running gun style is really cool because there is no plan, there is no thought going into it. And we can just kind of literally walk around and be like, oh, this is cool. Let's shoot right here. And there's a spontaneity and an energy to that. It does kind of help to like, I wish I had done like a walkthrough of the entire warehouse and been like, okay, let me get 3 specific locations where we can come back to, like basement, alleyway, and fire escape, you know, instead of just like wasting time walking around. I wish I had initially, before shooting anything, walked around and then been like, okay, these are three cool ideas. Like here are some touch points. We can use them or don't. But instead I spent a decent amount of time just being like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm just recording everything and wasting footage. Which on the Nikon ZR, when you're shooting in R3D, like that footage time is very valuable. I only have 45 minutes of recording time before I have to dump a 0.5 terabyte CF Express Type B card onto my computer and then, go out and shoot again. So I wish I had done a little bit of location scouting. I also realized, and this might be the most important thing, I learned that having a tripod locked off shot, while in my head, I thought it would be cool because I'm like, oh, this is what camera people do. I learned that it's so stiff and there's no movement. And if I don't compose the shot well with what's in the foreground, what's in the background, have proper lighting environment, I learned that it just looks boring as fuck. And I learned that there is an energy to doing handheld shots that really worked for the video that I was shooting with him. But there's a lot of times when I locked a shot off on a tripod and I was like, okay, this should work. There's a camera and a tripod. I learned very quickly. I was like, okay, this is way too stiff. And because I don't know anything about making videos, I don't know about lighting, I don't know about composition, I literally don't know anything. It does not look good. Like it looks flat and boring and the lighting is dark. So it just like, I could throw a LUT on, I could color grade a bit. And I'm like, this is not hitting. So I learned that for certain styles of what we were going for with the run and gun, like it really helped to be just doing a handheld shot because I can literally walk forward and backward, and the shakiness sometimes of my hand actually added some life to the shot. And it doesn't put all the onus on the artist to like create movement for themselves. I can create movement by just like walking around and like capturing light at a different angle or capturing the sunset as I move away from his silhouette. That's something I learned. And you can definitely overdo it, which I did sometimes as well, where I was like just moving too much. So again, there's a lot of learning lessons I took away from this. And again, I'm a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to making videos. I just hit record and see what happens. But those are some things that I learned. Was there a moment where I thought, oh shit, I actually know what I'm doing? Let me get some water really quick. Also, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being a part of this community. I appreciate you. If you're this far in the video, yo, real one, okay? We are, how far are we in? We're about almost 18 minutes into the video, So this is, we're just free flowing. There's no agendas. We're just talking. But let's dive back into the question, which was, was there a moment where I thought I actually knew what I was doing? Bro, when he's trying to act confident. I would say like in post, when I brought the footage back in and there was a proper lighting environment, like there was a neon overhead light and it was exposed properly just by chance, I was like, oh shit, my camera actually can make this person look great. That was a moment. And then you throw a LUT on. For context, I used a lot of Bolles Cineprint 35. Yeah, with proper lighting and a good camera, man, that's when I was like, oh shit, maybe we could be cooking here. Maybe this is usable. Maybe this is something that this artist actually really likes and we could do a music video. So I would say in post, using LUTs, when there was proper lighting environment, that's when I started getting confident and being like, okay, what are the things that are working in this shot that I can replicate, right after if we go out and do some more takes, or if we have another session, what are some things I can like take note of going forward? So that gave me confidence, and I was like, okay, let me just string together those repeatable action item lists and try to do that in our next setting, in our next location. What else do we got, guys? What else do we got? I'm 20 minutes in, man. How has being a musician and a producer affected the way I direct? Man, I guess I don't know, because I'm not in that artist genre. I just really wanted to make sure Ravi liked the video. Um, Sometimes I think I'm a little too agreeable where I'm just bending over backwards trying to make the artist happy, and I end up just like racking my brain of like doing 15 different color grades for one shot, and then that maybe that's too much, and then I just go scrub the entire timeline thinking, okay, does he like this one frame? Does he like this second frame? It's like, dude, I can definitely overwhelm myself. Um just trying to be too clinical with it instead of letting it flow. But I think one of my strong suits as a musician and a producer is I've done so many sessions with artists in LA where you just learn that you're not the focal point of this project, right? Like, I'm not trying to impose my vision on the final edit of what we're doing. Like, I'm very open to feedback, and I'm constantly asking whoever I'm working with, like, hey, tell me what your references are. Do you have visual references? Do you have editing references? Do you have color references that you want to implement? Is there like a guiding light for what we are trying to aim for with this project? Please let me know. Right? I guess I'm kind of blunt in that sense because I just constantly ask, and I'm looking for that, and I'm not resentful if they have if any collaborator I'm working with has references. In fact, like, I love that because then it lets me know what they're looking for, and then we can craft color grades, editing timing, and an overall pacing to a video where I know I'm aligned with what they're looking for. Versus sometimes, like, especially at the beginning when I was a music producer and I was like a session keyboard player, I was just playing so many chords trying to impress whoever was in the room. And a lot of times that was not what was needed. You know, like, as a music producer, you don't want to do too much. You know, you want to give room for the artist, you want to give room for the vocalist. And sometimes I was doing too much. In fact, most of the time, especially coming up, I'm still coming up, but when I was first starting out, getting invited to music sessions, like, dude, I was doing way too much on the keys. Again, just playing way too many chords. So over the years, I've learned, like, hey, the superstar of this project is not the keyboard player. Like, sometimes they just need 3 or 4 chords and then get the fuck out of the way. So whoever I'm collaborating with can do drums, can do accents, can do fills, can add a bass line, can add a synth, whatever, right? So I learned over time, like, the artist is supposed to be the star of this song. And I think in the same way, getting into video off bat, I kind of understood that, hey, my direction and my taste and where I want to take this is not the forefront of what we're going to do. I have a set of tools, from different color grading presets to camera equipment to a basic understanding of exposure, and I can show up and I have a fucking SSD card. But a lot of it is listening to the artist and seeing, hey, what direction are you trying to go? And of these suite of tools that I have at my disposal, are there any that are calling to you? And is there anything that we can jointly agree upon as like a direction that we can try? And if you like it, let's try it again and keep building a shot list off of that. So I don't even know what I'm fucking saying. Maybe I'm rambling. Oh yeah. So that is the way being a musician and producer affected the way I direct. I think it's just very collaborative and being very open-minded. Next question. Why does editing completely change the way you think about directing? Well, I have found that a lot of times I am now going forward and like throughout that shoot and the other music video that I've done, I now am consciously thinking of the edit as I'm shooting. In other words, I'm now hyper aware if the lighting environment is wrong, then whatever exposure tools I have in post, like, yes, Red Raw allows you to change the lighting in post with the ISO changing and temperature and exposure tools that it gives you. But at the same time, if you can really nail the exposure off the bat, it's going to help you so much in your post, when you're editing, when you're really trying to nail your colors, when you're really trying to make someone look great. It just helps so much if you nail the lighting environment. So that's one way I'm thinking about the edit while I'm directing. Like I said, location scouting, having like a general reference point of what the artist is looking for. Um, those are the three things I have in mind. Again, I'm still so new to this, but like if I were to shoot another video, those are the three things I keep top of mind going into another shoot. What have I learned about working with friends and other artists on creative projects? I feel like I touched on that mostly already. And last question, let's cap it here because we're going at 25 minutes. Do I actually want to be a music video director, or is directing becoming another part of being an artist for me? I don't know. I like the medium. I don't know if music videos in and of itself are the things that I want to hone in on. Like I'm very much more interested in being like in music and like making music. And I feel like these two projects that I've done, one for Heartsook, Put You On, and then this Ravmagav, Take It All. I feel like those are like artist friends that I have off the bat, and I had the tools at my disposal to make a video for them, and I've learned a lot about making videos. But I wouldn't say I'm like seeking out being like a music video director, nor is anyone asking me to be, for the record. But I do view like understanding visuals and recording and understanding editing and textures and color grading. I think that is like an integral thing that I want to have a very deep understanding of for my own artistry, whether it's doing like music content for myself or exploring videos as a medium in general. I just think that part's really interesting, and I really enjoy the editing. If you want, I can do like a video walkthrough of how I edited this most recent music video and just do like a screen recording in Davinci. But yeah, I don't. My intention isn't to like go direct a bunch of music videos. If the opportunity lines up with where I'm at and I like the artist and I think it could be cool, like dope. If anybody wants me to direct something, maybe we connect. I don't know. But right now I view it just as like a creative exploration, and I'm genuinely interested in again, like a lot of the post workflow in Davinci and seeing how certain colors just like light up the scene, light up the scene. So anywho, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. Do a little Q&A, self-generated Q&A about my experiences directing this music video, some of the thoughts I had regarding just the entire process. If you have any questions, maybe you do, maybe you don't, drop them down below. I think this is, again, like a pretty cool way for me to journal in real time. Again, the music video just came out a couple days ago, so this is pretty fresh in my mind, even though we've been shooting and editing this music video for like 9 months. I'm glad that it's out in the world, and I'm glad I had an opportunity to like take part and create something with a longtime friend. But yeah, thanks for watching. I think I'm going to cap it here. If you have any questions, again, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.